So YouTube is hard, or rather, I'm making it hard, I guess. Uh, I've spent the last 3 days trying to get a video done, giving advice to writers, and it did not go well. Day one, I shot outside and it was very cold, and it was cloudy. Well, worse, partly cloudy, so the sun kept going in and out, which kind of gave me some crappy footage. Decided I was going to thug it out and roll with it and finish my video inside. Then I realized I had no place to record in the house. I hadn't set up like a nice clean space to record anything, so I spent the rest of the day on Sunday getting that together. Got it done. Decided I'm going to record the last bit of it today and managed to screw up all the sound. Into something new. What can I do with this work that has spent years accumulating? So I'm going to redo that video at some point in the near future, but I still want to get something up this week. So I'm actually repurposing something I did for TikTok. I actually did a 12-minute TikTok video because reasons. I also did it in landscape, which is fortunate because now I can repurpose it for YouTube. And I'm basically talking about prioritizing purchases if you're interested in doing video or photography. And I did it because if you've ever been on TikTok, there's 1,000,001 ads for really terrible film and photography gear. Although small rigs, Magic Arm for some reason is popping up all over the place. And if you don't have a Magic Arm, get one. And small rig is legit. Not sponsored, by the way. So talk all about gear and prioritizing your budget for different things. So I think that's also helpful here. Well, actually, I'm sure it is, or at least the algorithm will tell me if it is. Either way, I hope you get something out of this video. I will do some more original content, hopefully this week into next. I'm going to link as many viable products as I can in the description. They will all be affiliate links, so I'll get a little bit of money if you end up purchasing something. It doesn't affect you at all. But yeah, hopefully you get something out of this, and hopefully I have some better luck with the next video. All I said, enjoy and talk to y'all soon. Peace. So this is a video I've been threatening to make for a minute now, and I've been making it way more complicated than it needed to be. So instead I decided to bring my camera to the park and talk to y'all about investing in camera gear, everything that goes along with it in terms of wanting to be a photographer, videographer, content creator. So for those of you who don't know me, hi, my name is Shane. I am what the photography, videography industry would consider a prosumer. I like buying professional level equipment whenever I can afford it, and I have made some money off of my work. I've sold prints, I've sold photos to magazines, I've shot long form content, helped produce content, different things like that, specifically like short documentaries as well. Got a couple of those under my belt. Nothing fabulous, but this isn't my full-time gig. I do this because I really enjoy it, and I just so happen to every now and then make some money. This is not my full-time job, which I think puts me in the perfect position to talk to you, I'm assuming who are a beginner, who are watching this video, who's trying to figure out what to buy and how to get started, and what makes sense in terms of your individual budgets. So I'm starting off with a couple of disclaimers. One, I'm doing this in the context of spend or don't spend. That is entirely within your specific budget. If you came to me asking, how to best buy something for oral hygiene, I would tell you, if your budget is $10, spend $6 on toothpaste and spend $4 on a toothbrush and your floss. In my mind, toothbrush and floss, they're whatever. There's none are really that much better than the other. I could be wrong, my personal opinion, but toothpaste is very important. I'm sort of doing the same thing here. When I say spend, I'm talking about within your specific budget. Don't go out and spend money you don't have on things you potentially don't need because you think you're going to turn around and make money doing this immediately or at all. This is a money suck, especially if you're not paying attention to your budget and what is responsible for you to do. So don't go out there and spend $1 bazillion because Shane said spend money on this. Spend money within your set budget. Disclaimer number 2. I'm talking to folks who want to be photographers, videographers, and make content on social media. That's a wide berth. There are a lot of different use cases in there. I'm going to try and keep this as universal as possible. Some stuff may slip through the cracks, and to that end, please hit me up in the comments, ask questions. Either I'll answer them directly, or there may be the way I end up, an idea for another video. But ask questions. I'm here. I'm definitely want to be a resource for you guys as much as I can. Now, with all that said, I'm gonna start with cameras. Camera is an obvious spend, and it's actually the reason I decided to make this video in the first place. Between social media and Amazon, and I'm sure you all have seen this camera that keeps popping up that's like between $35 and $70. It claims to be a vlogging camera. It claims to be 48 megapixels. Sorry for the plane if y'all hear that. I'm in the park. It is what it is. And it claims to have all these specs for $75. The truth is, a camera that has the specs that this one claims to have would cost you easily into the thousands, unless it happens to be an older camera that sometimes has great specs. That happens too, and we'll talk about used gear a little bit later. But you're not getting that for $50. I'm sorry. The good news is you can actually make great content with spending almost no money at all. I last month sold a photo to a magazine that I shot on my iPhone 14 Pro. It's a really good picture, and it kind of made me laugh that, I'm recording this on what is essentially I'm going to call it $4,000 setup once you add everything up. I have all this amazing equipment. The one photo I've sold to a magazine in the last couple of years was shot on my iPhone. So you can do things with your iPhone that are great. You don't have to spend any money right now at all. And I would recommend that you don't, unless you know for sure you've enjoyed making whatever you're making, whether it's videos, photos, or just general content. Do it on your phone first. If you fall in love with it, then look to upgrade. But before that, just use your phone. They're really, really good. Now, if you're thinking more in terms of action cams, you're a skateboarder or a skier or, jump out of planes, whatever you do, they're the action cams. They're also really good for vlogging. So you have things like the GoPros, the DJI Pockets. I'm actually looking at getting the DJI Pocket 3. It's also a great camera. Oh, it's starting to rain. I'm about to put you away for a minute. I'll be back. We had a monster rainstorm yesterday, and I had a little panic moment because I was afraid it's going to start raining again, but sun's coming back out. The next part is sound, and this is another spend. It's pretty much known in terms of, video production. You can get away with, sort of crunchy video, not the best video quality. If your sound is bad, folks will leave immediately. So sound is super important. Like I said, I'm using the Rode Wireless Go wireless mic. I've also seen a lot of wireless mics on TikTok as well, and on Amazon that are names that I don't recognize. And I'll put it to you this way, and this goes for the cameras as well. If you buy something of quality, you can trade it in, sell it, upgrade it later, and get something better down the line. If you start with a $50 or $60 camera or a $15 microphone, that value is basically zero. Nobody's going to buy their camera, especially not used, and you're not going to be able to level up when it's time for you to level up, because you're going to outgrow those cameras, and possibly those mics are going to have to use them almost as soon as you use them, because you're going to realize that they aren't good. So spend on the sound stuff. Now, if you are indoors, you may want to invest in a mixer, an actual pod mic. If you're already a podcaster and you plan on shooting indoors, your sound is already covered. You don't need to spend anything at all. So yeah, just within your range, sound is always an important spend. So just because I can remember off the top of my head the different brands of microphones, there's DJI, you have Rode, you have Godox, you have Sony. If you have a podcasting situation, you already have good sound there. There's also Zoom, who does really good stuff. And again, if you have a cell phone, this is a great microphone. You'll see creators hold their phone like this, use it as a microphone, and sync the sound afterwards. So there's a world where you're not spending anything on sound, especially again if you already spent money on a podcast setup, or you have a halfway decent cell phone. You might not even need a mic at all, unless you just want to upgrade again. The black hole of content creation. Eventually you're going to spend money. So next up you have lighting, which in terms of spend or save is actually a pretty mixed bag. If I was home like I intended to be, I would have shown you my big light, called the big light, which between C-stand, the light itself, which is a Godox, I want to say G60 or something like that, and my 36-inch giant softbox. That entire setup cost me, I want to say, around $400. I use it on client shoots. I use it when I'm recording videos. Sometimes I just want to be fancy and, justify that purchase. I also have something I purchased recently. It's a Zhiyun 40 watt. It's half the size of my big setup. It puts out really good light, and it costs me all of $80. Another $30 if you want to include the little softbox I bought for it. But big difference. Now, the one TikTok purchase I made that actually I would recommend, I don't know the name brand of this. I bought 3 of these. I got them 3 for $20 just because it was too cheap to not see what it was. And it actually ended up saving me on a client shoot. I had a shoot recently where I had some issues with shadows and needed to some extra lights just to even things out. These things saved my shoot for $20. So all that to say, if you're shooting natural light like I am right now, you don't need to spend any money on lighting. If you're going to be indoors, a window is great. I don't recommend ceiling lights because you're going to look god awful. But for as little as, maybe $70, you can get a halfway decent key light that's going to have you looking all right, and you may have to do a little bouncing, a little investigation, playing to figure out how to make it really, really work. But you can get a really expensive light, or you can get, something that's moderately priced. So I had a whole last clip where I talked about some of the hidden costs of getting into photography and filmography. And yes, the dog is in the bed. I'm washing all the sheets and everything later, so don't judge me. I'm kind of done with this day. Anyway, wanted to touch on some of the things that don't get discussed enough, in my opinion, when it comes to getting into photography and videography as far as a hobby or a profession. And one of those are batteries. I have 3 or 4 batteries for all my cameras, and I want to say the average cost of a battery is anywhere, depending on the model, $15 to $50 or $60 even. And that doesn't include chargers. I, again, have bought some gear used, and sometimes you buy gear used. It does not include a battery. So count that as an expense. Memory cards. My main camera has 2 256 gigabyte cards that are fast enough to shoot in 4K up to 60 frames per second, which is essentially slow-mo. If I wanted to shoot in essentially super slow-mo, like 120 frames per second, I would need what is called a CF Express card. Those can be upwards of $300. Thankfully, I don't need the features that come with needing that card, so I'm safe, but something else for you to keep in mind. There's also my computer, which costs about $2,000. It's got 3 terabytes of hard drive space. It has about, I want to say, 500 gigs of RAM. It's enough for me to edit a video comfortably, types of videos I shoot. If I had more layers and more effects and everything else, I'd probably need more memory. Thankfully, I'm not there yet. So all those things kind of run together and make all this, again, a potentially expensive endeavor. But if you're smart, and if you plan out, and if you buy right the first time, you'll be okay. Thank you, Bean. Jesus Christ. Anywho, I think that's it for me. If you have any questions, hit me up in the comments. I'll either reply directly, or you may give me an idea for a whole other video. Like, subscribe, share, depending on whatever platform this is on. And please check out my website, ShanePaulNeal.com. I'm currently selling prints. Actually, I'm pretty much always selling prints. If you can't purchase a print at this point, just sign up for the email. That would be super helpful. And again, I'll talk to you all soon. Peace.